and innovative products offered by Armacell. I would now like to welcome Mr. JP Singh, Solar Consultant, Intertech, passionate about spreading the green. Mr. Singh, an engineering graduate, is working as an environmentalist to create awareness for adoption of blue solar energy. He believes that it is a need of the hour to create a blue solar revolution to save the Mother Earth from global warming. Over to you, Mr. Singh.
Hello. Can you hear me, Neha ji?
Yes, Mr. Singh, you're audible.
Okay, great. First of all, thank you so much, Neha ji, for the opportunity given to us. We really thanks Griha for this opportunity, and it's a privilege for us at Intertech to share the insights for the green earthing, and we really look forward to share our knowledge. And since this is a 5-day test match, and this is the last hour of the today's test match, this is already 6 o'clock, and I really appreciate and acknowledge all the participants. More than 150 participants are there, so I acknowledge each one of them, and I really promise them that these last few hours of today's webinar will definitely give them some takeaway. Kindly stick and we do acknowledge you. So I begin my presentation for the earthing on the very important aspect of sustainability and green. Sustainability and green. And when we are sustainability and green, both are the buzzwords. But when we are talking about the sustainability and the green, it was about 4 to 5 years ago when someone really shaken me by getting me acknowledged that what is our extended home, what is common between all of us. My residential address is Subhash Nagar. Your residential address can be Janakpuri, Tilak Nagar, Azori Garden, Saket, Greater Kailash. It could be Nagpur, Maharashtra. It could be Los Angeles. It could be London, UK. But what is common between all of this is that our extended home is Mother Earth. That is the common thing between all of us. And when we talk about green, we are just saying that we are wishing to take care of this extended home of all of us. And when we are wishing to take care of this extended home, let me show you what our extended home is. This pale blue dot is our extended home. And all our efforts and endeavors taken by organizations like Griha and some other organizations are just in line to spread green on this Mother Earth, which is an extended home for all of us. There is a very nice picture taken by Carl Sagan. It is here. It was taken on the 14th of Feb 1986. And you can see that this is the small dot, which is our home. So the intent is that our home is so small, encompassing all of us, and we really need to take care of it. And here begins the story of green, which relates to the earthing.
Sir, sorry to interrupt. Can you make your presentation in a full screen mode, please?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir.
Is it full screen now?
No, sir. It's a yes, sir. This is there. Yeah.
I think there is some problem in the system. I don't know.
No, sir. So there is a tab on the right hand side near the.
I have pressed that tab, but it is. I don't know. Just one sec. It is showing some problem, Nehadi. I have tried to done it. It is showing some problem. Just give me 1 minute.
Sure, sir.
Is it full screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that's great. So, moving forward, when we are talking about earthing, when we are talking about sustainability, there is a famous 3P theory given by Mr. George Eglinton. He told that sustainability is all about three things. First thing is the people, second thing is the planet, and third thing is the profit. And we know that we are very much concerned about people and profit. Why we are concerned about people and profit? Because we know that if we are not able to make profit, we can't go further in our businesses. And we are concerned about people because we know their growth would help us in going further. So we are understanding, acknowledging the importance of the people and profit to become more sustainable. But we have not been able to acknowledge so much about the sustainability of the planet, and wherever the things have been in such a way that things have not been brought up, those things have always been at neglecting end. And earthing is one of the such thing which has always been a neglecting thing in terms of sustainability, in terms of the green. And how it is, let me show you. We all know that in our specifications, the main earthing specification till date in the government tenders is charcoal and salt. And we also know from where charcoal comes. Charcoal comes from the wood. And let me show you what is the equation of charcoal and the wood. 5 kg of wood equals to 1 kg of charcoal, and 30 kg of wood equals to one earth pit. Now imagine you require one tree for 10 earth pits every 2 years. Does it not shake you that we are building up earth pits on the account of cutting the trees? If you feel that we really, if you feel that we can cut down the trees for sake of earthing, please type yes if you feel that we can cut down the trees. And if you feel that we should not cut down the trees and we should figure out some other alternative measures for the earthing needs, please type no. I would really appreciate the participants to come forward and share their views, what they feel like, whether we should cut down the trees or we should find some other ways of the earthing where the tree cutting is not required. I could see many no's are flowing. So this shows that we are concerned that trees should not be cut for the sake of earthing only. And this says, can we find out the root cause of our negligence to strengthen the roots of our green future, which and the roots of our green future is related to the trees, is related to the green surroundings. The second thing is, when we are talking about green, we know that the components like trees and water are very essential for the green. And when we come to know that we are wasting so much of water in the maintenance of the earth pits, it is a very shocking figure which I'm sharing with you. In a period of 50 years, an earth pit requires 2,500 liters of water. And my dear friends, you just go to Africa and ask the value of one drop of water. And here we are wasting 2,500 liters of water for maintaining an earth pit. I just want to ask you to reflect upon the statement or the report of the Niti Aayog Planning Commission. They have already mentioned about the scarcity of the water in the major cities of India in the next decade only. What awareness we are seeking in terms of the green? Why we are not calculating these figures and we are wasting millions of gallons of water in the maintenance of the earth pits? Question for us here is, if water is so precious, can we afford to lose it in earth pits? Don't we require waterless earthing solutions for 2 million earth pits? Earthing industry is about 800 crores per annum. And if I divide it numbers of earth pits per year, it comes out to be 2 million. And imagine if I have to maintain those two earth pits, and if I have to make a choice that my water should go to the baby right in the picture, which choice I'm going to make? Am I going to make a choice to feed the earth pit or feed the baby? I just wish to ask the participants to please type yes, whether they feel that the earthing should be water-less maintenance. If they feel that it should be a water-less maintenance solution, please type yes in the chat box so that we can see that our point is getting across. I would really appreciate for the participants to share their opinions. If they feel that earthing should be waterless, please type yes if you feel like. Next, when we were talking about the sustainability, we were talking about the green. There were three P: people, profit, and planet. And there is a common saying which what goes below the ground is often getting neglected. जो दिखता है उस पे काम किया जा सकता है, जो दिखता ही नहीं उस पे क्या काम करेंगे. And this is the misery associated with the earthing solution, because your earthing solution goes below the ground and nobody is bothered what you are feeding to your mother earth, what you are feeding to your soul, which but is very important, because जो chemical आप ग्राउंड में डाल रहे हैं, that chemical is actually creating a soil pollution. That is something which need to be lauded hard, but unfortunately we are putting up hundreds of thousands of millions of kgs in the ground through the chemical earthing, and that is actually harming the mother earth, which feeds us everything, right? Everything. But what that question we need to ask ourselves: do we really wish to adopt such earthing solutions which pollute the soil? I would request the participants to please share their yes or no so that we can know that our point is getting across or not. What kind of feel do we should have for our mother earth in terms of earthing solutions? And And since we are talking about the earthing solution in terms of the green, very briefly, I would like to touch upon that. If I have to make a choice that, okay, if I'm not going for the chemical earthing, can I escape my earthing? Is it possible that I don't give an earthing in my building? But let me tell you, my dear friends, that it is not possible at all, because the figures in India, in UK, 13 people are getting executed in a year on the count of electrocution, whereas in India, 4,000 people are getting electrocuted. So you can see the ratio here. So this is a big ratio on which we need to work upon. Our earthing solution should be very perfect so that it can save the lives, and also we need to ensure that it helps us in creating a sustainable world, a greener world, and it should not harm, it should not put a scarcity on the water resources, and it should not harm our trees also. So you can see here only 8 in a year and 13 in a day in India. Why green earthing and only green earthing? I have explained you that no requirement of water. Water is a precious resource. It is said that the Third World War would be on the fight of the water only. So we can see the importance of the water. Charcoal earthing harms trees. We already know that the number of the percentage of the forest area is decreasing. We also know that the soil pollution is rising, and we also need to have chemically inert solution. So some of this slide is captured from the perspective that some of our architect friends, some of our sustainability friends, some of our landscape friends have often expressed to us that we don't have sufficient space to do the earthing for the building. So we have tried to share this pic with the intent, if you are able to plan your earthing in the beginning state by incorporating into the basement, you can do the justice to the building by providing the earthing solution to each and every human being over there and to the machines over there. So basement is also a solution where you can put your earthing in the beginning. This is a very small, why earthing is not able to perform, why really need to water it again, why we need to put a chemical again and again, because corrosion is the main reason which affects the performance of the earth pit. If there is only one single reason that which affects the performance of the earth pit, it is corrosion only. It is corrosion only. So here I am sharing a material with you which is conductive concrete technology, which is the fourth generation of the earthing technology. Why I'm saying it fourth generation? Because the first generation was the local road, the plain road. The second generation is the charcoal and salt. Third generation is the chemical earthing, and the fourth generation is this Marconite. Marconite is basically conductive concrete, which uses Marconite material with the cement. And when we mix cement with the Marconite, it becomes so solid, so concrete that it takes up the shape that remains there for the years, for the decades. Just imagine a slab over your head. It is there. It could be that it is already there for decades, and definitely it is going to be there for the next few decades also. The same way the Marconite remains there. You can see here in the upper peak that there is leaching happening on the account of charcoal and chemical. But in the Marconite, there is no leaching. There can't be any leaching when the cement gets properly condensed into the solution, and you can see that there is no leaching in this pig. The second part is the life cycle cost comparison in particularly in India. With due respect to all the consumers, I am also one of them. We often try to see what is cost of the equipment right now. What is the cost of the equipment right now? What does it mean कि अभी कौन सा सस्ता मिल रहा है? And we never focus on the life cycle cost. But thankfully, this phenomena is changing from the last few years. With the advancement of the technology, we have started thinking for the life cycle cost. And here, in a very brief manner, if someone goes for the chemical earthing at the cost of compromising the soil pollution just to save some money, he would be spending 68,000 rupees in a period of 50 years. And if someone goes with the Marconite, adopting and embracing a green solution which doesn't harm the trees, which doesn't create the scarcity of the water, and which doesn't pollute the soil, cost you only 16,500, because Marconite offers 50 years life, whereas chemical earthing offers only 6 to 8 years life. And in a course of 50 years, you would have to change it more than 5 times. And that is why it is costing you very high 68,000 rupees. And this is what we really need to understand, that pricing is the one thing. Obviously, it is giving you a good rate of return on investment. But point is this, if we have alternatives to embrace and adopt greener and sustainable earthing solution, why we are still going forward with charcoal and salt and chemical earthing? Why we don't feel the need that every earthing solution should be a green earthing solution? There should not be any other non-green earthing solution. The question should be asked, am I allowed to pollute my soil? Am I allowed to use or waste water for the sake of maintaining earth pits? Am I allowed to cut the trees to produce charcoal to feed my earth pits? These are the questions we need to ask. These are the questions we need to strike upon in the design of our buildings. And these are the questions which are needed to lay the foundation for the earthing industry to adopt and embrace green, overcome the negligence, and ensure that we are using our resources in a very precious manner to create a sustainability. Because the word sustainability is not about ensuring our today's need. Sustainability is what my grandchildren are going to enjoy. If my grandchildren are not going to enjoy the 45-degree temperature, they are going to enjoy 55-degree temperature. They are going, if they are, अगर वो पानी की एक एक बूंद के लिए तरस रहे हैं, what kind of sustainability we are talking about? Definitely we need to be very aware about the resources. And earthing is such a neglected industry we really need to work upon together. We need to come forward, share our knowledge, share our vision to create greener earthing solutions, so that we can say that we are so aware कि धरती के नीचे भी जो जा रहा है, we are making sure that it is green and we are not keeping our eyes closed on it. This is what I feel, and I would really appreciate, and if each participant share their yes or no, that they do agree that every earthing solution should be a green earthing solution. If they do agree, I would humbly request, please type yes and give us an inspiration and motivation that we are looking forward for the green earthing solutions. Thank you so much, Neha ji, for giving us this opportunity. I really appreciate the efforts of the GRIHA to bring forward the people to share their knowledge, and it's a privilege for us at Intertech that we could share our knowledge, and we really feel humbled and we really feel happy that we could share our knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for your valuable time and sharing your experience.
And if there are any question answer, we can take it up if time allows.
Sir, due to shortage of time, we will not be able to take any queries right now. Later on, we'll compile the queries and put them on our website. And once again, I would like to announce that along with the webinar series, we have the GRIHA virtual exhibition going on. I request you all to visit the exhibition. The details for registration are shared on the screen. The first link is for generating the ID and the password for the participation. And through the second link, you can see the virtual exhibition going on through your login ID and password. However, in case you're unable to log in the virtual exhibition, please drop an email to Mr. Ankit. His email ID has been shared on the screen for your reference. Thank you. And to conclude today's session, I would like to thank all the panelists and the participants for attending the webinar. We hope that today's session was informative. We look forward to connecting with you tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. Tomorrow we'll be having an interview session with Professor Dev Prasad from UNSW and architect Parul Zaveri to discuss how architecture and urban design philosophies can help rebuild the world sustainably post-COVID. Thank you, everyone. Look forward to joining with you all tomorrow.
One more announcement that all the recordings will be available in the exhibition hall itself. So there's an auditorium in the exhibition hall. You can log into this link and use it for watching all the last day and today's recording, to access these recordings through the auditorium in the exhibition hall again. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.